The BumbleKast is for entertainment purposes only. The host's comments and opinions, and those of their guests, are wholly their own and do not represent that of any other entity. Content is provided as is, with no guarantees of accuracy or timeliness. Unauthorized redistribution or editing of the BumbleKast in whole or in part is strictly prohibited.
Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Hello. What's up? We're here to answer questions, and we have a lot of them.
We do. They come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Indeed. Well, starting off with this one from Alphamon or Yukin. Starline's Isekai adventures continue. This time he ends up on Wumpa Island and meets up with Dr. Neo Cortex himself. How does he adapt to this new wacky dimension, and how does he react to Cortex's animal experiences as well as the goofy yet unpredictable Crash Bandicoot?
I am really not familiar with the Crash series at all.
We have talked about, I think, a Sonic and Crash crossover before, at least. I am pretty familiar with, I'm fairly familiar with Crash. I have played the original trilogy, so I know Crash pretty well.
Well, then you tell me if this sounds like it tracks. Starline winds up on Wumpa Island, and he just is completely out of his element. Everything that he knows from the Sonic universe just does not work here. He's not compatible with Cortex. His presumed rivalry or antagonism towards Crash just isn't working because Crash doesn't respond like Sonic does.
No, he doesn't.
It's all wrong. It's like he tries to go through the motions of being the evil sidekick with aspirations of conquest, and it's not working. Everything's wrong. It's not right.
The problem is that he is a villain in a world of mostly villains. Like there are most of the characters in Crash Bandicoot are villains. Like there's a couple heroes, and then most of the other characters are all villains. So everyone is has aspirations to take Crash. He's he's just one in a sea of villainous guys.
Well, then there's your problem. You have to cull the herd.
Yeah, that would probably be what he would think. That's probably what he would come to. Yeah,
and that's when he gathers up nitro crates, TNT crates.
Yeah, nitro and TNT both.
Well, why not mix them? And he's forming a trap, and you know where this is going, guys.
Yep, Isekai adventures. Oh, they continue. The boxes do hate him. The boxes absolutely do hate him. Also, the thing is that physics and stuff in Crash's world are a lot more cartoony. Like, it's definitely not nearly as grounded as Sonic, and the villains are more like everyone's extreme. Like, I don't know exactly how to describe it, because I mean, you got Eggman, who's a crazy guy who's like a showman, but this is like a world of villainous showmen. So
okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of a different thing. So I think you're on the right track. All right, here's one from Andrew D. I was just thinking about how Mimic is a sea creature person that lives on land. Can Mimic breathe underwater? And do you think that if more sea creature people were introduced, they would also be able to live on land, or even land and sea? I find it odd, but we did see some in Archie living on land, albeit probably not permanently.
That's not been determined, I think, or it may be something that it's don't want to address. I'm not 100% sure.
Mimic is kind of an exception to the rule of sea creatures in general at this point, right?
I would imagine he could breathe underwater. I mean, he's an octopus, and there are octopodes. What is the consensus now?
I don't know.
Wiggly 8-armed critters that can survive on land for a surprising / terrifying amount of time. So with the Archie series, the purely marine Mobians like Razor and Coral and Pearly, they could come up on land for a time, but they would dry out. Like it would be a more hazardous environment for them. They couldn't endure. That's why they were far more comfortable under the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very hard to breathe underwater. And that's why there was that big gulf between the two cultures, because it's hard to visit.
Right. Well, that makes sense. All right, Arc Beetle has a question. How would a romantic relationship between Big the Cat and Thunderbolt the Chinchilla go?
Disastrously. Because Big would arrive for the date and not see Thunderbolt anywhere until he realizes he has to scrape her off the bottom of his shoe.
She's not that small.
She's minuscule and he is gargantuan.
He's not that big and she's not that small. Come on, dude.
Well, they are for this joke.
Okay, fine.
Alternatively,
okay,
he shows up with his wingman Froggy, and Froggy eats Thunderbolt because she's so tiny and yellow. And the entire time, Big's just trying to chase him down.
Thunderbolt is apparently like microscopic in this scenario.
Roughly the size of a lemon. Yes.
Okay, then. Anyway, here's a question from Aura. How would a conversation between Maria and Omega go in white space? I think they're destined to be besties.
I would think it would maybe be the one time Maria can't reach somebody, because she's not really all for that whole maim, destroy, burn things mentality. And he is. I think they're just very diametrically opposed philosophically. And not that Omega would have anything against her, I don't think, because she's not an Eggman robot.
No.
So who cares?
She is a Robotnik, though. Like, she's like a relative of Eggman.
She's not an Eggman,
but
that's irrelevant.
Yeah, but she is an Eggman, though.
I think he can make the distinction.
I mean, he's not that dumb. He's very,
and he knows
very smart.
And he knows what she means to Shadow, so he would be on his best behavior in Omega terms, I would think.
Yes. All right, Astral Hitchhiker has a question. Crazy Cat Mama here. Please give us an update on the current soap opera that is your cats and their acclimating to the new situation.
Oh, I wonder, do we share the same brainworm species? As we worship our little fur babies. All right, so Midna is still kind of standoffish, but she's slowly graduating from scared of everything to angry grandma. She's bullying Meebo a little bit, and she's being a little more assertive in her cantankerousness. It's progress in a fashion.
Yeah, well, she's old. She wants to be left alone. I can't blame her.
Yeah.
I'm there. I'm with her.
Malikata has one brain cell, and you can actually see it in her eyes when it fixates on something. Like you can almost hear the servo click into place. She's a lovely little sweet thing when that's where it's aligned. She's gotten to be a little more acclimated to everything. Like just the other day, she decided that it was time to attack my foot, but she was gentle about it. That's progress.
Wow.
And she so desperately wants to play with Midna. Like she will sit there at the bottom of the couch and cry at her, please, please play. And Midna's just glaring down. But she and Meebo get along great. And Meebo is getting much bigger and he's getting much more energetic. And he will suplex her by basically latching onto her head like a facehugger out of Aliens.
Amazing.
And he will chew on her until she is panting and going, no, stop. And it's like, okay, buddy, back off. And she goes, okay, caught my breath. And then she pounces on him and chews him all over and he's covered in spit. And he's like, ow, that hurts. And she goes, okay, I'll back off. And he goes, good, I got my second one. And he suplexes her and they do this for like a solid 2 hours. It's hilarious.
Well, I'm glad it's entertaining.
Meebo, for his part, is getting very big. He's still the cutest thing in the entire universe. Don't at me. But he has a foot infection, which requires a medicated bathing twice a day, followed up by a medicated cream 30 minutes afterwards. And to his credit, he is a good boy. He doesn't like bite or hiss or actively fight. But apparently he thinks he's a vampire and that if water touches him, he'll dissolve. So I now have a shirt that is the dedicated cat cleaning shirt with all the holes in it. And my torso and arm kind of looks like I just came out of the Deadpool Wolverine fight.
Oh, no.
And we have to do this until the vet tells us to stop. So it's going to be a long holiday season.
That sounds like a cat. That's what they do. Oh, man.
Oh, and he has to wear a cone, too, so he doesn't lick the medication off while it's drying or whatnot. He does not like that one little bit.
Oh, I'm sure it's very funny.
if it weren't so sadly tragic as he's pawing at it and looking just defeated.
Oh, I feel a little bad. A little. I'm also entertained, so it's fine. Keep the cone on him. All right, question from Brain Shark. Or should I say Brain Shark?
At least one more time before the year's out.
The year is 2026, and it gets revealed that Chris Pratt will be playing Silver the Hedgehog in Sonic Movie 4. How would Whisper, Surge, Tangle, Espio, and Mario comfort him?
Well, Chris should be honored. Silver's a great character to play. I'm not sure how Mr. Pratt knows all these characters himself, but, he gets around, I guess. He has connections.
I think they're talking about comforting Silver, because he's...
No. The syntax is quite clear.
I know.
Chris Pratt is cast. How do all these characters comfort him?
Yes.
Silver's just the qualifying clause. It's clearly about Chris. And, he and Mario have a working relationship. He played him in the other movie, so, yeah.
Are you just being pedantic to be pedantic?
And for hilarity's sake?
Okay. I mean, I'm laughing, but I'm always laughing, so that's not really a... that's not really a... It's not really a thing.
I just want to see how he grows his hair out to style it that way. That'll be really impressive.
Oh, yeah.
And, he's already got the whole hold out your hand intensively thing down. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, man. Come on, Ian. You know what the spirit of the question is, right? Come on.
We all know what the spirit of the question is. This is the better answer.
I mean, yeah, you're probably right. All right, Buttered Noodles has a question. Somehow Mr. Mixaspitalik ends up meeting Bean the Dynamite and takes a liking to him. So Mixie lets Bean borrow some of his power. How does this go, and what does Bean do to get the power taken away?
You gonna take something from Bean? Sorry, Mixie, you just took his already cartoon logic bombs and gave it the cartoon god logic behind it. He is nuking universes and creating universes in the explosion. He's having a grand time making everything combustible, including your hat. No, Mixie, you let that genie out of the bottle and then not going back in.
Not putting that genie back in that toothpaste tube. Wait, hold on. I think I'm mixing my metaphors here.
And I know I already hear you saying, but he only gave him some of his power. It don't matter.
No.
A little bit of Mixie powder in the bean smoothie is going to last you a long time. It's a potent mixture.
Yeah. You put a tiny bit of Mixie in bean, and it's all over. The chaos levels are just too great to contain. All right, question from Camo. Do you ever notice that you tend to have a gut instinct to add references? Why did you need to include the Sonic and Shadow banter from SA2 and Heroes during that cutscene in Shadow Gens when new dialogue would have sufficed as well?
Because it's Sonic Generations.
I mean, literally, they're if there's one game you had an excuse to make references in, it is absolutely 100% Sonic Generations. Like, right. Come on.
We've covered this. Sonic Generations is a celebration of Sonic.
Literally, the whole game is a reference.
Tons of little Easter eggs throughout. So, with Shadow Generations, I wanted it to be Shadow's story, sure. But once we cross over into Sonic Generations, like literally into his white space area, no. It was time to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, come on. It's literally Sonic reference the game. Let's not kid ourselves here.
And when are you ever going to ever have an opportunity to do such shameless callbacks like that in context,
Yes.
Nah, this was the time to have your dessert before you finish dinner.
Yes.
I will stand by that one.
I agree. All right, Chaos Sonic 1 is here with a question. I'm looking at the Sonic 5-minute stories, and would Sega be fine with incorporating the ideas from it to the main canon?
The 5-minute stories?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what this is actually referring to.
Because I tried to look around, but I'm not finding anything specifically named that, so I don't know what you're referencing. Is Chaos Sonic 1 here?
I don't know. It's a kid's book in print.
Oh, like recently?
Guessing you're not familiar with it.
No. Is this like old
it's a
SAT
book.
AM era stuff?
No, I don't think they're bringing that up. I figure Chaos Sonic 1 knows that's probably not going to be reincorporated.
Are there newer print kid books that I'm not? I don't know.
Apparently.
I wonder who it's published by.
I mean, you're definitely not the only Sonic writer out there. So
No.
despite some people thinking you write everything literally Sonic, there's other people also involved with the franchise. So I'm curious. Maybe we'll find out more later. All right, Comic the Hedgehog has a question. Shadow and Maria have a Halloween movie night where they watch a horror movie about evil clowns. Maria loves it and can't get enough, but Shadow is terrified. He's super scared and wants very badly to turn it off, but can't bring himself to admit it. What happens next?
Well, the funniest answer is that Shadow just toughs it out. And she thinks he's being his usual stoic self, but he's really just kind of in lockdown, almost catatonic. And he thinks he has it under control until Maria points out that one evil clown kind of has face paint similar to his.
Oh, no.
They talked about, little markings around your eyes and on your quills are just like his hair. No!
I'm not a clown. I'm not a clown. You're a clown. It's only a movie.
Starts booting up the Eclipse cannon. Clown control.
See, and I just assumed the TV would get a chaos spear through it. But no, the whole world is now a clown that will die.
Do you see how many fit in that car, Maria? Imagine how many are on the world below. That has lots of cars on it.
Shadow isn't a clown. He's the entire circus. All right, here's one from Dawson the Dachshund. When two Nermies love each other very much, they share a special kiss. This kiss is special because when their lips lock, they also share two xenomorph-esque mouth tubes, which hook together and cross-pollinate plant-like seeds. The seeds then grow in the Nermie's throat until they cough out eggs in about 6 months. And that is where Nermie babies come from. As a Nermie biologist, can you offer a legally non-canon comment on the controversial yet scientifically sound, quote, seed tube, unquote, hypothesis?
Dawson, I want to give you my sincerest thanks, because this is a blatant fan idea, and thus I can never use it. I don't ever have to think about this ever again. I can bury it forever, safe and sound. So thank you, Dawson.
Thank you, Dawson. Your contribution
you have brought the evil to light, and we will seal it away now forever and ever and ever.
Your contributions are much appreciated, and we never have to speak of this again. DDR Master M has a question. If Sage were home alone to deal with the wet bandits or something, how would she handle it?
Efficiently.
Yes. I love this idea, honestly.
Like, if you want Home Alone antics, have them invade when Eggman's home. Sage? No. The atomizer comes out of the ceiling first thing.
Uh-huh. But still entertaining.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I imagine her just materializing before the last moments. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
Yes. Oh, yes. Perfect. Question from Dove. Rouge comes home from a vacation to find that Shadow and Omega have discovered the world of Judge Dredd. They've read all the comics, seen both films multiple times, and now they're loose on the world. What does she come home to? Are they the law? Does Omega wear a visored helmet now? Does Shadow suddenly sound more like Stallone? Can we get a Dark Chow in Dredd cosplay?
Dove, you took all my material.
Everyone keeps doing that lately.
I mean, I'm glad you guys are entertained and want to get in on the joke, but you took all the jokes.
Oh, not all of them, right?
Well, all that I can think of, because I never actually got into Judge Dredd.
Yeah, well.
I haven't read or really seen much anything about it.
The original movie is absolutely hilarious. The later one is actually pretty good.
That's what I heard. That was actually really solid. I want to get around to it, but
yeah.
Add that to the list.
Yeah, but the original one with Stallone is hilarious. It's very goofy. I kind of love it. It's not a good movie, but it's very entertaining.
Is it a bad movie in a good way?
Yes.
Okay.
In much the same vein as like Demolition Man, another Stallone joint. It's very entertaining. It's not good, not in the traditional sense, but it's a great movie just in terms of like entertainment value. Yeah, it's fantastic for that.
And now you have me wondering, how would it have sounded if it was Stallone in Sonic 3 instead of Reeves? But even better, a Judge Dredd movie with Reeves as a judge.
Christopher Reeve as a judge and Judge. I mean, it would be fantastic. It'd be awesome. I mean,
it's basically John Wick with a helmet.
John Wick with a helmet. Yeah, kind of. Except John Wick is not, he's not the law. He's the opposite of the law. He's a criminal.
He's dispensing justice.
But he is. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, yeah, he probably would even talk the same way he does as John Wick. So yeah.
Also, you meant Keanu Reeves. Christopher Reeve was Superman.
I think Christopher Reeve. Keanu Reeves. Christopher Reeve. Sorry. FMS Draws has a question. One more for the road. Say, I think there's a connection between Detective Gilbert and Detective Gumshoe. I mean, their names both start with G. Whatever would happen if those two are put in the same room anyway?
Okay, so Detective Gilbert is from the Phoenix Wright series, right?
Detective Gumshoe is from the Phoenix Wright series. Right. Yeah. Gilbert. Are they referring to Gil Stern from Mega Man?
Oh.
Was his name Gilbert? His full name?
Yeah, Gilbert D. Stern.
Yes. As in like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Right. I Googled this and it's like, well, there's a Professor Layton character and there's like an old BBC radio character and there's an old TV show character. Which Gilbert? And nobody called him Gilbert. Everybody called him Gil. Come on.
Gilbert Godfrey. That's who it is.
Yeah. Well, he lost his power as Mix's Spittlix, so now he's Detective Gilbert.
Yes, now he's Krang.
Okay, so if we're going to assume it's Detective Stern and Gumshoe,
I'm going to go with that.
I imagine Gil would be a little impatient with Gumshoe's obliviousness. Not super familiar with the Phoenix Wright series, but I that's kind of the joke, right? That Gumshoe means well, but he's kind of inept.
Yes.
Has his moments of brilliance, but they're few and far between.
I would say that he is he's less inept than I think some people give him credit for, but yeah, that's generally the case.
But he's also very chummy. He's very forthright.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. That's going to rub Gil the wrong way.
He's a very different character from Gil, which is very funny because they are obviously, Gil is very much inspired by Gumshoe, especially design-wise, but they're very different characters. Like Gumshoe tries to kind of act like a bit of a hard detective at first, but then he really softens up later on.
I can be good cop, you can be bad cop. You are a bad cop. I am the good cop. Well, now I'm confused.
He's a very nice fellow. He's a very friendly guy, but yeah.
They wouldn't necessarily get along at work.
No.
But maybe at the pub afterwards. A couple of drinks and they're all right.
Yeah, I think they'd have some fun with that, but yeah, I don't think they'd get along super well. I feel like Gil just wouldn't have the patience for Gumshoe. All right, Godzilla has a question. Of the following four actors, who do you think would be the better voice for a movie version of Mephiles the Dark? Tom Hiddleston, Benedict Cumberbatch, Martin Fishburne, or Keith David?
Okay, who's Martin Fishburne?
Morpheus from The Matrix.
That's Lawrence Fishburne, not Fishborn.
Wow, I'm doing really terrible in terms of...
Well, that's what's written is Martin Fishborn. His name is Lawrence Fishburne.
I think he meant... Okay, I'm guessing he meant Lawrence Fishburne, because I just literally looked up Martin Fishborn, and there's nobody named that. I think they meant Lawrence Fishburne. It seems like it. Okay.
Personally speaking,
I'm looking up Martin Fishborn, and apparently there's like nobody in the world with that name. Wow, that's wild.
All right, so personally speaking, of that list, I would love Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes,
first and foremost, the resonance, the delivery. I think that would be very Mephiles-y.
Yes.
Second, I would think Benedict Cumberbatch because he has that same kind of potential for ham. I mean, Tom Hiddleston and Keith David are both very accomplished actors. They would not be bad choices either. But of those four...
I mean, Tom Hiddleston is pretty hammy, though. Like, especially as Loki and more recent stuff.
But he's in a higher register.
Well, yeah, his voice is not quite right.
But I'm also thinking very much the Dan Green Mephiles still. That's still my go-to voice for Mephiles in my head.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think Martin Fishburne would be a fantastic voice for Mephiles. Whoever that is. Hearts 13 has a question. An interdimensional crossover between two out of infinite parallel realities adjacent to The Simpsons from the early seasons and a composite 90s Sonic, SatAM, and pre-Super Genesis Wave comic universes leads to a dimensional displacement of two industrial despots, Mr. C. Montgomery Burns and Dr. Julian Ivo Robotnik. How do they run the other's corporate empire, and how does Snively and Mr. Smithers react to their new boss / Dark Overlord?
Snively, I've hired a new scientist to assist you.
I'm gonna shoot this hedgehog. You put the animals in the machine and it makes the roboticization the hagen.
Damn it.
Thing is, oh god, Snively even kind of looks like Burns.
It looks similar.
Shorter.
Yeah.
Well, no, Snively's going to run rings around Burns. Just convince him to make some kind of like facial imprint to command all the robots, and then because they look very similar, take his place.
Yeah.
Because Burns is evil, but he's entirely reliant on Smithers. So Snively will have things under control within a week, only because he's just getting a feel for Burns first, figuring out what makes him tick. He could do it within the hour if he was more proactive.
Yeah, Burns is a very ineffective villain.
As for Robotnik taking over Springfield Nuclear Energy,
oh boy. Feel like this will not end well.
No. He's going to fire everyone except for that one buffoon in Sector 7G. He seems to be on the ball, at least. Look at him, staring so attentively at his computer screen. Dr. Robotnik, I believe those are ping pong balls covering his glasses. Quiet you. He's a man of vision with excellent taste in hairstyle. And Homer very quickly becomes part of the cult of personality for Robotnik. Comes home with like a pipe cleaner mustache that's just shaped like Robotnik's.
He's pretty much ready to toe the company line, I guess, huh?
Oh, absolutely.
Homer
dresses like him too.
Homer gets legionized. Got it. Homer dressed up as Robotnik. SatAM Robotnik.
Bart needs to start having very weird Sonic and Sally archetype overtones. In terms of roles on the Freedom Fighters, don't go there, you rebellious young man and smart guiding companion. All right, that's where I'm going with this. I know you, internet. Don't you do this. Even put a running gag about Tails in the backpack, except it's Maggie.
There you go. That works.
They do a whole like shot for shot recreation of the SatAM opening sequence, but they're shutting down the nuclear plant.
Is that the opening gag? The couch gag.
Sonic's writing off the blackboard. Got a speed, keyed.
Yes. Tails shot Mr. Burns. Yes, it's true. Except Tails shot Mr. Eggman. There you go. Dr. Eggman. How dare I? He spent a long time in evil school to earn that doctorate.
Even though he's defeated Robotnik, at least has like a family member in this universe to call back on.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. You can hide in the school as long as you want. Thank you, groundskeeper. Let me. Really? God, I cannot do SatAM Robotnik. Not even close.
No. That's how... Yeah. That's a hard voice to follow up on. Yeah, you can't do that. Willie sounds like Glomgold, which, I mean, kind of does.
There's no Scotch tube or fist. You lied to me, McDuck.
All right. We got to keep moving. Hero Squad has a question. In 2 different scenarios, the Black Arms encounter 2 different alien species, xenomorphs and yachas? Is that how you pronounce that? How do both situations play out?
That's the Predators, basically.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that's what they were called. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew they weren't just called Predators, but that's generally what most people end up calling them. I didn't recognize that word.
It'd be fun either way, I imagine. I think the xenomorphs are a little less intelligent than the Black Arms. They're general forces, but I would argue that they're hardier creatures. So it kind of depends on if the Black Arms could react fast enough before the xenomorph starts going to town on this big buffet in space. If there's more than one xenomorph, I would imagine it's more of a xenomorph game at that point.
Yeah.
For the Predators, that I think would be the most fun. Having a hunter stalking through the Black Comet, going after the one and only prize on there, which is Black Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And Black Doom just trying to find him with Doom's eye just flying over the place. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Why didn't I install infrared in my eyeball?
Gotta take him out. Before
just
he finds me.
Through the various forces. Nah, that'd be fun.
Oh, yeah. What scares Black Doom? Oh boy.
And maybe, just maybe, Black Doom is ready for him. And Black Doom is no slouch. He had some serious power behind him. So maybe he's actually able to overwhelm the Predator. And he's floating over him, gloating. You thought you were an apex predator, but here you are, dying at my feet. What are you typing into that gauntlet? The Predator starts going, and the whole thing explodes in a nuclear fireball.
Even when the Predator loses, they win. Joshua B has a question. I found the character of Lanolin in the IDW Sonic comic to be a fascinating character, and I'm rather disheartened at her divisive reception. It feels like other characters who have done much worse are much more easily forgiven than she is. Some seem to resent that she's a flawed leader, which I think those flaws enhance her as a character. It's especially confusing because Lanolin's perceptions were manipulated by Mimic to make others, like Silver and Whisper, look like they're picking on the newbie, Duo. I can clearly see this as Lanolin just being biased in favor of being overprotective of the new guy, while believing that the veteran should know better, especially considering her backstory. I've been in a lot of fandoms, and I've noticed that fans seem to dislike when they see a character, especially a leader, have flaws, even consistent flaws that make sense for the character, and a villain takes advantage of those flaws. Since you've been on the writing side and the fandom side, I suppose my question is, why do you think this happens?
There is no singular answer to this. It really boils down to different people's perspectives, different people's expectations, different media literacy levels. There is no singular answer. It's just people have different perceptions and will consume media differently.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it boils down to. It also just kind of depends on how a character is received and perceived. First impressions are very influential. They will color the way a wide swath of a fandom views a character forever, usually. So there was definitely a contingent of people that were rubbed the wrong way by Lanolin early on when she was first introduced as a major character. So I think that's probably part of it, too. So Mancoy has a question. Sonic the Zone Cop has a child with someone from Mobius. Which way does gravity pull the baby? Toward the floor, like his mother? Toward the wall, like his father? Or at a 45-degree angle into the corner?
Or do they just spin in place forever and ever?
just rotate the whole time. I kind of love this question. I really do.
You're going to rock the baby to sleep? No, he's at 45 RPM.
He keeps spinning. He just keeps rotating. Baby rotate.
I mean, approaching a serious answer. If I were to approach this, I would think of it if depends on which dimension they're born into. Like if they're born into the one, they're orientated properly, and if they're born into the other, they're orientated that way. And maybe they have the unique skill where they're able to flip between the two. You know, they can jump between dimensions and be the proper upright relative to wherever they are. That's their superpower.
Or maybe it's just a Beyblade. A baby Beyblade. Let them rip. A baby blade. Morlis has a question. Just how fine is Blaze's control over her fire? Could she heat the air around her and make it nice and cozy on a cold winter's day? Could she boil a pot of water? Make a puppet of fire and do a show with it? Set some delegate who's annoying her hers pants on fire from across the room? Light my birthday candles with her finger?
That has not been explored, and it would be neat to do so.
I'm going to headcanon the answer to all of those as yes, personally. That's my personal headcanon. Can she do all of those things? Yes. I think that makes her a more versatile character. I like that. Also, I mean, she's Blaze. She deserves to have all the powers in the world. It's fine. You gonna stop her? I'm not. Mexico17 has a question. Since it's a holiday season, what 3 villains do you think would be the funniest to have beef with Santa? And I don't mean they're mad at being on the naughty list. I mean, there's some sort of noodle incident, and now there's a mutual blood feud between them and Santa.
Dr. Horrible.
Okay.
Dr. Horrible in his sing-along blog.
Yeah. Okay. He didn't specify Sonic villains, by the way, Mixer 17.
No.
He just said villains, so yeah.
Darth Vader.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, Darth Vader is very naughty.
I haven't sensed this much Christmas cheer since...
Ever.
And who would be a third?
There's some pretty good ones from the chat.
Yeah, let's pull from there.
Darkseid?
I think that's actually happened.
I think that has actually happened. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Negaduck?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, Negaduck, yeah. Megatron.
I don't know if Megatron is too dry, but I'm thinking like G1. There's been so many Megatrons.
Yeah, the original. Yeah.
Let's give Beast Wars Megatrons just so we have an excuse
Okay.
for a T-Rex to be chasing the sled.
Yeah.
And then all the reindeer turn into Autobots.
Oh,
I like that.
Oh, that sounds pretty freaking cool.
Now Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitz, and Rudolph transform and roll out.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
There we go. That's the answer.
There we go.
That is the answer.
Found it. We found it. We also found the break finally. Ready to take a break?
Yeah, we'll be back with more BumbleKast in just a minute.
We're back, and we have a question from Mutton Chop. How would Lanolin react to another workaholic on the team? I'm talking someone who completes crazy jobs within minutes of being tasked, no questions asked, is never seen sleeping, and drinks 0 coffee. Would Lanolin find this super workaholic suspicious, be relieved to find someone who gets the struggle, or force them to get some sleep?
Oh, you could take it so many different directions. You know, another funny option would be that she's just intimidated and annoyed by them. You know, just always on the ball, always demanding the best, always working, always taking everything seriously. And Tangle's just kind of nodding along going, and you don't like this?
It's weird.
Here, Lanny, hold on just a second. Let me get you something. Here, a mirror? Yeah, look at it.
Yeah, but it's weird. Like they did how? How do they do this?
Like someone so exemplified to like all the flanderized ideals of Lanolin given form, and she's like, "Is this how people see me? This is not what I want. No, take it all back.
This is not me. This isn't me." What if she likes them to the point of attraction?
I mean, we could go that way, I guess.
I suppose, but yeah, I mean, either way, I think it's kind of funny.
Although, given the context of everything, here it is, the perfect person for Lanolin, matches everything that she holds highly, all of her ideals, all of her work ethic, right there in the office, and It's Mimic, isn't it? You're too perfect. I don't trust this.
Oh, she's been compromised. All right, Onyxodon has a question. Due to its popularity, Sega asks you, Ian Flynn, to write a series of Starline Isekai adventures, a series of various misadventures inspired by the Q&A questions that culminate in him taking Izuka's body. Would you write it as a comic series or a show? And how would you finally free Izuka from Starline's influence in the climactic finale so the adventures can continue?
It depends on the budget and the size of the project. You know, we could do this as a comic series. We could do this as web shorts. We could do this as like the Sonic Channel isekai stories of their own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the story itself can be told in multiple forms. The idea of him like being a ghost and possessing Izuka-san's body is weirding me out a little bit, but I don't know, in this goofy hypothetical situation, that happens, but the boss is Sonic. He decides what is and isn't in this series, so no. He just like wills Starline's essence out of his body and says, no, you are dead for real. And Starline's like, no. And the Isekai adventures end?
They will never truly end, Ian. I mean...
Or at least a plush pops into being.
Yeah. They will never truly end. Starline's Isekai adventures will continue in our hearts forever and ever. Pedanticat has a question. How do you think characters we didn't see and technically didn't exist yet, like Tangle, Jewel, Styx, and others, react to the events of SA2, as seeing the moon get blown up and being told by Gerald's global message that everyone on Earth was gonna die?
How would you react?
Confused?
Alarmed? Distressed?
Looking at the moon like, oh, that's bad.
I mean, maybe the most reserved response would be from Styx going, huh, it isn't hollow. All right. Now there goes that idea.
Well,
could have sworn, and no little moon in there. Son of a gun, I could have sworn. Okay. I mean, it's right there, unless it's a giant hologram projection.
That's it.
And the entire sky is fake. Oh, the cover up is huge. You overplayed your hand.
I love Styx so much. I wish
Who overplayed their hand? Eggman, the government? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Which government? Yes.
The one real one. Okay.
Oh, I miss Styx. And a question from Professor Scruffy Matt. Rouge assembles a crack team to rob 3 Bingo Highway casinos. Who does she choose to be part of Rouge's 11? Or however many you think she'll need to pull a job off. And what's the plan? All characters, good, evil, or in between, are eligible and from any branch of the various Sonic universes.
Well, I mean, we have to have Shadow and Omega in Rouge's 11.
Seems like it's kind of required, yeah.
I will crack the safe in half. Let's say she cons SBO and Silver into it.
Yeah.
Challenged for his ninja powers, and Silver's just a good boy.
Who is a bit naive and easily manipulated in a lot of ways, yes.
Yeah. Sonic's in for it. It'll be fun. We're going to return everything later, right? This is just for a lark.
Yep.
Rouge, come on. All right, you can confirm this later. This is too much fun. We need 6 more. Who else? Well, she's in there, so that is 6.
Okay.
Or is it's Rouge's 11, so she doesn't count. All right.
Does she? Doesn't she not count? Okay. Yeah.
All right, so we need 6 more. Let's see.
Rouge counts, apparently. Rouge would count.
She's smart like that. Not the Babylon Rogues. Jet just wouldn't work with her, and Wave and Storm follow his lead. That's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't bring in Eggman because he's going to just try to steal the show and go too far.
He's going to take over. Yeah.
And maybe you can convince Sonic to go in on for the fun angle, but Amy's too virtuous. You're not going to fool her.
No.
You're not going to fool Vector, even with the promise of a payday. And Charmy's too much chaotic energy. You know who is good at finding treasure and is as gullible as they come? Hello, Knuckles.
Yep.
I'm going to crack that safe in half. I did it first. I'll do another one.
They're breaking into 3 Bingo Highway casinos, so.
Don't tell them that. It's a fun competition.
Okay. Well, I mean, then they'll both get a chance to crack one open.
Can't do Tails because he's head of security.
Yeah,
He's got to do something to fund all his little projects.
Rough and Tumble. There might be a little too inept.
You need decoys, so yeah, Rough and Tumble.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
And who did you just say a second ago?
Surge.
Oh yeah, like all she has to do is say break stuff. There's your distraction.
Point Surge in direction, and she will cause mayhem. It's fine.
And it's a 2-for-1 deal because Kit's going to come involved.
Yeah.
And one more.
Big.
Yeah.
We gotta have someone who's just kind of there.
Like she's going over the whole plan. You're going to do this at this hour. You're going to do this at this hour. You guys are going to do this. And Big, yeah, you take the third casino. Okay.
He just walks.
And there's like this big elaborate series of foibles in the 2 other casinos, and they barely get out, and they've got all the loot. And wait, what about the third one? And then there's Big. He's done.
Big just walks in, takes it, walks out. Perfect. All right, question from Rabbit Haver. Ian, one day you come home to find your back door has been shattered. Sitting on the floor amidst shards of glass is a small, moist blue fennec. Kitsunami hands you a folded piece of paper. It seems that instead of taping a letter to a brick like civilized folk, Surge has opted to use her sidekick as a projectile. Before you get the chance to read the paper, however, Kit asks to use your bathroom and wants to know if you have any snacks. He seems very polite, so you oblige, before gently shooing him out the front door. Once he's gone, you finally get to read the note. It says, quote, "Let me beat Sonic in the book or your electrical bill is next." Angry face. What she means by this remains a mystery until a week later, when your water bill has several more digits than usual and you realize Kit filled his backpack in your condo. Do you contest this expensive bill with the city of Toronto? And what do you do to prepare for Surge's next move?
Well, number one, I don't have a back door.
Well,
although
crash through the window, it's fine.
I mean, there is the sliding door out onto the porch, but I'm like 16 floors up. But she probably could throw Kit that high just out of spite.
She'll figure it out. She's a smart cookie. She'd get up there somehow and throw him.
I mean, I'm already having to pay for this freaking door she smashed. Never mind the water bill. But joke's on her.
Yeah.
My water bill is all folded into my dues. So that expense is spread across everybody in the building.
Oh, no.
Same goes for my electricity bill.
Oh.
Joke's on you, toots. I'm covered. That's why you don't mess with the Flynn. Even in a fictional universe as a fictional character, I win.
Got her. Well, hey, at least in this case, she gets to make everyone suffer, not just you.
Yeah, that's a bonus?
That's a bonus for her.
Okay.
You know how she is.
Yeah, fair enough.
Surge, you should have just resorted to mindless violence. You spent too much time thinking about this. All right, Scurvy Pirate Hog is here with a question. In Sonic Movie 3, unlike the games, Gerald Robotnik is still alive in the present day. So, if this plot was somehow canonized in the games, how do you think everyone would react?
I have not seen the movie yet.
Well, no, it literally just came out on the day we're recording this.
But knowing what I know, I don't believe that's 100% accurate. So, we're just going to look at the latter half. What if Gerald Robotnik were around again today?
Mm-hmm.
In that hypothetical scenario, which Gerald? Like, are we talking pre-invasion or post-invasion? Pre-invasion, you might have an interesting counterpoint to Eggman, but we know the potential he has for going cuckoo bananas, so that could be an interesting ticking clock scenario. When is the worm going to turn for the crazy old man? And if we're talking post-invasion, we just have a worse Eggman on our hands. Smarter, more capable, more ruthless.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. All right, Shege has a question. We know Shadow likes his top percent Rattata, but what does he think of Mewtwo and the similarities he shares with him? They're experiment tube babies that hated humanity once, and they have dead emotional support 12-year-olds. Is he friend, foe, or faker?
He's a try-hard. Look at that over-design.
Speaking psychically, oh, what edge.
When Shadow's the one calling you edgy.
I'll catch him in a standard Pokeball and he'll like it. And then Mewtwo just like psychically flings him out of the arc.
Perfect. All right, here's one from Sequoia. How does Shadow view Amy in canon? In the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog and the Twitter takeovers, he seems to enjoy her enthusiasm and goes out of his way to spend time with her. But those aren't technically canon. In fact, they don't seem to interact much in canon at all. Does he actually view her positively and enjoy spending time with her? Or does he view her more neutrally or negatively?
That has yet to really be explored in the main material, as you've pointed out. So that'll be something to be explored in the future, maybe.
I mean, Amy's just a likable person that everyone seems to get along with, so I could see Shadow maybe not outright warming up to her so much, but maybe surprising himself with how much he appreciates her and likes her. I mean, at least she's better than Sonic. Soccer God has a question. It would make more sense that Whisper instead of Sonic turns into a werewolf, since she is a wolf. With that in mind, what would a game called Whisper Unleashed be like?
Now, hold on. Werewolf means man-wolf.
Yes.
It is a man turning into a wolf. She is already a wolf, so there's no transformation. And she's already anthro, so she is like technically a werewolf in that sense. She would just turn into more of herself?
Well, I mean, in one of our recent thumbnails, we had Whisper, so... I know the
words have meanings, darn it. Anyway,
yeah,
that's not the spirit of the question. The spirit of the question is, what would big, hairy, snaggly, punchy Whisper look like? And I think the best idea is she still has like the cape and mask kind of Shadow of the Opera style, and all the wisps can infuse her fist, so she has elemental punchy powers.
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. I like that.
The question is, would she be werehoggy in the sense that she would, roar and snarl, or would she still be restrained? So, big fanged teeth, and she just goes, grr, growl.
I mean, either one is funny.
Snarl even.
Either one is pretty funny and good. I could see it go either way. Maybe she does both.
Masking cape, or like work that into the design. So she's got this kind of pale skull mask.
I feel like we've
on her face.
Bumble canonized this before. Like we've had Whisper. We've had a Whisper thumbnail. Come on. We've had so many thumbnails, so it's like
it's been almost 10 years, Kyle.
I know. We've only had artists drawing our thumbnails for like the last year. Come on.
It's still a year, Kyle.
I know, it's still I know.
Yesterday?
I know. I know. My memory's bad too. Don't I know what it is. I know. Just saying, this is somewhere in the Bumble archives. Go look it up. All right, question from Spoiler 1001. In the Wizard of Oz books, animals can speak no matter where they're from. Toto chose not to talk. If your cats were to land in that wonderful world, what kind of voices and speech patterns do you think they would have?
Midna would be kind of snooty royalty-ish.
So, Midna.
Old lady. Yeah. Meebo would be like a very young Big the Cat. Because he is super... And I don't mean BumbleKast goofy version, Oblivious Big. I mean like actual Big, who's just very chill and friendly. Because Meebo's just chill. Like he will have Molly and Midna running around screaming and fighting and slapping at each other and jumping off walls, and he's over there at the kibble going nom, 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 nom. The other two are on the bed going yeah, and he's going, hey, how's it going?
What's going on?
I mean, Aaliyah doesn't like it, but I've kind of given him the Korg voice every now and again.
Yes.
Hey there, I'm Meebo, small kitten boy. Like to hang out, enjoy snuggles.
Not like that.
Kibble's good. Don't know why everyone's fighting. Just want to get along. Everybody wise.
Why doesn't she like that? That's adorable and very funny. Come on.
And Molly. Oh, Molly Kata. I'm trying to think of specific manic screaming characters from cartoons over the years, and it's all running together. Like very, very upbeat and friendly and positive, but just there is no difference between 0 and 11. She is either on or off.
How about Vanellope from Wreck-It Ralph? Is it that kind of voice you see with her, or? different.
Yes, just not so restrained or calm.
Vanellope's usually, well, I guess sometimes she is.
No, I know what you're drawing a parallel to, and I'm using that as my basis.
Okay. Alrighty then. Spyro James has a question. With people complaining about the metal virus, saying Sonic is out of character despite he's legit tired, or how Tails is cowering despite he is also infected, does the Sonic fandom lack common sense?
As we covered earlier, you have different folks with different outlooks, different views, different abilities, and they'll all have their own perspective on any media that they consume.
Yes. System 509 has a question. It's autumn, and Star Fox, the coffee shop, not the space mercenaries, is bringing back the pumpkin spice latte. Who on the cast likes them so much they feel the need to bring it up on day one in the middle of totally unrelated conversation? I know it's not Star Fox, but it's very funny to imagine that Star Fox is running the character is running a barista. Star Fox character is being baristas, I should say.
I don't know which is the better avenue to go with. That it's Amy, because she's very big into the seasonal celebrations and, it's pumpkin spice season, so it's time to, do that. Or if she's tired of it. Like, it's become so corporate and so standardized that she's burned out and she wants something that actually means something to actually enjoy and share with your friends.
I mean, that just sounds like she's been burned one too many times from and never mind.
Maybe I'm bringing my own humbug.
I think you might be. Yeah.
Charmy, I think, would probably be very into it, just because, again, it is what you do that season. It's not about any other holiday. It's about pumpkin spice and the muffins and the coffee and the toothpaste and the cinnamon rolls and the pumpkin spice. You can't put pumpkin spice in pumpkin spice. I did. Yeah, of course you did.
Yes.
And Zavok, unironically.
Okay. What about Tangle?
Which is funnier, that she's like super into it or that she absolutely hates it?
I don't know.
Like, not in the, I don't care for that. And like, it's the one thing she seriously detests on a moral level.
Okay, that's funny.
It's autumn. The air is so crisp, the trees are changing, and there's pumpkin spice everywhere.
No.
She's like banned from every Star Fox location. It's the one time a year she doesn't talk to Tails.
Oh. Oh, man.
This is my Joker moment. And it's like, slay, queen.
Where did Infinite come from?
I mean, it's pumpkin spice season, so, I mean, he's got to show up sometime.
Okay. Is that a joke about him being basic?
I actually had no idea what I'm saying. I'm just spouting words.
Okay.
Now. But I like that. That's funny.
We're just saying things. Super Dave has a question. How does Supersonic 2 work? It's been clear for decades that the Emeralds/Superforms have unlimited power. The Master Emerald granting hypersonic greater than infinite power seems shonen enough to fit in with the series. Supersonic 2 seems like an impossible little in-between, adding a finite cyber power boost to infinity. What's the deal? Is it like a type advantage against other cyber-powered beings or something? Is it just greater than infinity?
We don't know. Like, we saw so little of Starfall Supersonic that it's very hard to define. It just looked cool.
Well, here's one from Switchel. Starline's Isekai adventures continue. This time he finds himself as a contestant on Master Chef. What's Starline cooking for Gordon Ramsay and the judges, and does he survive the competition?
Oh no, it very quickly devolves into a knife fight with Ramsay.
It's rotten!
Ramsay's going to win. Ramsay knows how to handle a knife. Yeah, no. This Isekai adventure is going to start real fast.
Yeah.
Who are you calling a donkey?
It's true. It's true.
How about I serve you up your own head, you pompous? And the Isekai adventure.
Tetsuya the Wise has a question. I have to know, what would happen if Eggman watched Sage die Metal Sonic Pink?
Can you dye metals?
You can anodize them, which is a form of dye. It's more like a form of like rusting into a certain color, more or less. It's kind of it's not a like anodizing is not a like a coating. It's more like actually changing the structure of the metal to turn it to a color. So yeah,
I did not know that. That's fascinating.
Yep.
Then yeah, Eggman's just impressed that his little girl can do that all on her own.
Would a pink metal Sonic be Metal Amy?
I don't know. Does the changing color hurt the consistency or the quality of the metal?
No.
Okay, then maybe. Although we actually have a Metal Amy now, thanks to Sonic Superstars.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that's true. Well, there you go. The Aussie Blue has a question. It's cold outside. There's no kind of atmosphere, and Princess Blaze is all alone, more or less. Princess Blaze has, through unknown means, managed to get stuck on the mining vessel Red Dwarf from the TV show Red Dwarf. Let's say she's stuck for a year, over 1 million miles in deep space. How does she handle her new life and the boys from the dwarf?
I have no idea what we're talking about.
You've never seen Red Dwarf?
I have heard of it in passing.
Oh.
But I am drawing an absolute blank. I have zero context for this.
You have... Oh, I wish I knew more about Red Dwarf personally. I would be glad to go into this. I know a little, but I don't really know enough to comfortably go into this. But I think it would be quite entertaining.
Okay, was it a comedy?
It is like a sci-fi sitcom. It's British.
Ah, okay.
A British sci-fi sitcom that's very beloved and a very good show. It's very funny.
Okay.
Yeah. I would heartily recommend it to you as someone I know who loves sci-fi. I think you would enjoy it. It's one of the funniest sci-fi comedy shows.
Well, I would imagine in that scenario, with that understanding, she would do just fine as the straight foil to an otherwise goofy ensemble.
Oh, yes, and they are very goofy. Oh, they are very goofy. It's great. It's a fantastic show. Please watch it, Ian. Please.
Add it to the list.
At some point, All right, the Might of Gebbera has a question. Any available material, especially published, related to Archie Sonic can be used for that series? That goes for Game Sonic 2 at Sega, right?
I'm not sure I follow. Used for what?
I guess power scaling arguments.
Well, power scaling is all just fan silliness anyway. Use whatever criteria you want.
Yes.
There's no hard, real, literal answer to any of it.
No. Here's one from the Ollie Roger. How would the Chaotix fare as paranormal investigators who also have their own ghost hunting show?
I would love this.
It would absolutely be fantastic. Yes.
I would love this so much. Oh my goodness. Please put them in the Haunted Mansion with Law and the others.
Please. I want to see this so bad. I want to see them going through Sandopolis Zone, freaking out as boos show up around them.
Like, I want to see a scenario where they cannot prove that the ghosts exist, but Charmy is hanging out with Law and they're now best friends.
Yes.
And they leave the mansion really depressed that they couldn't prove that ghosts exist, and Charmy's just waving back at the window. Bye! See you next Halloween! Love it. Marza, please. I'll do this for free. Let me do this.
Absolutely fantastic. Just do a Chaotix Luigi's Mansion.
Yes!
That is an absolutely banger idea. I love that one.
Here you go. Let's back it up a little bit. What would happen if we got Professional Gerald back? He's just EGAD for Chaotix Paranormal Investigation.
Got him. Or you could bring back Von Schlemmer as EGAD even,
Oh, you're speaking genius, Kyle. That's a genius idea.
I mean, the chat came up with it, so I give credit to them, but,
okay,
it's still a good idea. It's still a great idea.
Oh, yeah, Von Schlemmer's even better.
Yes.
I mean, who else is going to come up with Jakuki inventions to go along with Jakuki accent?
Wes Weasley is the one who sold them the hotel, the mansion. Yes.
Tell you what, pallies, you clear out all the ghosts. The place is yours. Hey.
Yes.
I have to prove they're all gone first.
I want this. So bad. Oh, man. I want this. Ah. Good stuff. Tristan has a question. Due to shenanigans, all 326 variants of Shadow from Shadow 05 appear in the present of Sonic's world. Heroes, Black Arms, Loyalist, Android Lords, etc. How did the main cast plus Shadow deal with this mess?
Okay, for all the many named paths, there's still only the 6 endings, right?
I think so.
I don't think those vary at all. I think it's just the name of the path that changes up.
326 variants. Well, sure, they come to the same endpoint, but they all went through different scenarios to get there. And apparently there's also 10 endings.
10 endings, okay.
That's still a lot of shadows.
That's not a round number.
That's still a lot of shadows. 10 is a round number.
No, the 326 doesn't divide by 10 nicely.
Oh, well, I don't know.
But the point is, they're still going to reach the similar endpoints. You're going to have the same results, the same characterization at the end.
Yeah.
So you're going to have the same number of evil shadow take over Black Arms, the same number of Heralds of Black Doom, the same number of good boy virtuous heroes. And
10 shadows is still a lot, to be fair.
Well, that's across 326, so there's like roughly 32 shadows per ending.
Okay, okay, that's what we're going with. Okay.
And we'll just say they're all grouped together, and all of the shadows that want to run the Black Arms are not going to bow to each other, so they take each other out.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the Android King shadows aren't going to bow to each other, so they take each other out. So that's 64 already taken care of.
Yeah.
And what were all the other endings? I guess in the end, you're going to have more virtuous shadows than non-virtuous shadows, so they win by sheer numbers, but it's a very costly battle. And miraculously, the only shadow left standing is the one from last story, and we're fine.
Lagging.
Blah.
Well, if you divide all the shadow endings a particular way, lagging.
All right.
Don't think your math is sound, young man. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Just let them take each other out. At least some of them are sitting there eating popcorn. Just doing whatever. All right, question from Twilord. If Sonic Dragoon and Claus McGee all got tabletop RPGs, what supplements for each would you have half ready before the core book was done? For clarity, if South Island and Badniks are in the core book, then Angel Island, Station Square, Battle Cuckoo, and Black Arms as examples of supplements.
Okay. Sonic I could probably come up with on the fly. I wouldn't necessarily have stuff on hand. Dragoon, most of the series building I've been doing on my end could be applied in just about any direction. So yeah, that one's already half baked. Just pop it back in the oven. We're done.
Mm-hmm.
Claus McGee, that's not a direction I've thought of with the series. Claus McGee specifically was supposed to be the lighter fare, because I am really bad about going too big with scope. Claus McGee was specifically to break me of that and just tell a simple, fun story. And I didn't. I did stray into the grander things, but it's still smaller in comparison to Dragoon. So,
well, yeah.
I'm sure you could go in that direction with it. I mean, it's an open enough setting you could riff on it, but it's not a direction I've gone with it myself yet. If there's any company that does that sort of thing and they're listening, I mean, I am open to licensing.
There's still time.
Call me.
There's still time. Alrighty, Windstar Osprey has a question. It's time for Prime. This time we're going a little bit bigger. What would the Set AM Freedom Fighters, Sally, Nicole, Antoine, Bunny, and Rotor, be like in the Shadowverses? This time, let's start with the Boskage Maze. Real quick, Nicole can be a mystical spirit in a crystal if technology is off the table.
I think the funniest answer is it's just not all over again. Nothing's different.
Nothing. It's just not whole, but no Robotropolis, right?
Yeah, okay, that doesn't really work. I mean, what do you do with Bunny in that case? Unless she's just wearing like bark armor.
There you go.
Look, y'all, I'm a robot. No, Bunny, we've been through this. You're not. We don't even know what those are in this world.
There's one computer in the entire world, and Sally is dating her. Yep.
Make Antoine Tarzan.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I guess it's
tell me
post reboot outfit.
You would not pay real money to hear Rob Paulson attempt the Tarzan yell as Antoine.
I mean, I'd pay Rob Paulson money to, I don't know, read the phone book.
I mean, you could still keep Rotor as the inventor, only it'd be more Gilligan's Island, I guess, trying to make things run off of coconuts and tree bark.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, that's good.
And if we want to go a more comedy route, just really lean into the squirrel overtones with Sally.
Okay.
Like, make her a bit of a hoarder, make her kind of skittish. You know, she's trying to give orders and tell people what to do, and then something falls somewhere and she's up the tree, gone.
Okay. Oh, that's goofy. Very funny.
And to close out the show, we have something for you, Kyle.
Okay.
And it's not a question.
Nope. It's a request.
It's a request.
Yep.
Vineclad asks, Kyle, please sing Jingle Bell Rock.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm glad that you requested Jingle Bell Rock. It's a fairly simple, straightforward song, and it's very short. So I appreciate that. I will do that for you. Feel free to join in, Ian.
No. I get to sing so much. This one's all you.
Okay, let me pull up the song. All right.
But if you're listening, sing along at home. Let's all go a wassailing together.
Okay.
Bumble carols.
Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushes of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime in jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air. What a bright time. It's the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time is a swell time to go gliding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up a jingle horse, pick up your feet. Jingle around the clock. Mix and a mingle in the jingling feet. That's the jingle bell. That's the jingle bell. That's the jingle bell rock. Wow.
No notes. Flawless execution.
Okay, well, at least it's some sort of execution.
And on that stirring note, musical note, I might add, we're going to wrap up this BumbleKast. We will see you on
The 28th, December 28th.
The 28th?
Yes.
For the last BumbleKast Live of 2024. That is so weird to say.
2024.
Good gravy. So, until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Happy holidays, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Jingle around the clock, everybody. Jingle around the clock. The murder of Sonic the Hedgehog questions.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
This is a long one. Packing them in, you know?
Yep.